As we progress with our curriculum inventory, many of you are ready to fill in the Pinewood columns for the Pinewood standards. So here is a short tutorial on how to do that. There are three possible things that you can do for filling in these standards. First of all, I'm using this K through 6 visual arts as an example. I'm here looking under the kindergarten column. Here there is engage in exploration and imaginative play with materials. So as a teacher, if I'm pretending to be the art teacher here, I would think, okay, what does that mean? That means that I put out a bunch of art materials and they just kind of play with them and explore them and imagine what they can do with them. And I would think, we don't really do that. We usually just get right into a project. So since we don't really do that, I would come over here and I would type in this box N/A, meaning not applicable. So that's your way of saying, yep, no, we don't do that. Then I look at this next one in kindergarten, engage collaboratively in creative art making in response to an artistic problem. I can say, yep, we do that. So if we do that exactly as said, I would do a Command C. I would highlight that box, Command C, move over to the Pinewood column next to it and Command V. And that way I know we do that exactly as is. And then when we get to a point in our process where we're doing scope and sequence, that is where we could specifically write what artistic problems the kindergartners are creating art about. So you don't need to do that at this point. That will come later next year. But right now it's just standards. So let's do a couple of more. Engage collaboratively. I'm now moving up to first grade students. I'm just to show you a few examples here. Engage collaboratively in exploration and imaginative play with materials. So same thing. No, we don't really do that. So I'm going to put NA, then skip down to the next one. Use observation and investigation in preparation for making a work of art. Yes, we do that, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit for Pinewood. So I'm going to copy it, go into the next one. I'm going to paste it. Now this is where this would be the third option of where you do a standard, a state or national standard, but a variance of it, or you add to it or change it a little bit. So in order for me to do that, I've got, I'm going to add to this box, and there's two different ways, well, a couple of different ways to do that. I can, usually your bar looks like that. So I can just work up here in this navigation bar, or I can make that area bigger by dragging it down. Or by just clicking on that box, I can also work within the box down here, which is actually my preference, but all of them work. So I am going to use observation and investigation of accomplished artists in preparation for making a work of art. So of accomplished artists is unique to Pinewood for our standards that I want to add. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to make that green. So anything in green that you add to it or make any changes for Pinewood, put it in green. And that way we know this is unique to Pinewood. So those are your three options. Either we don't do it, NA, or we do it as written. So just a plain cut and paste, or we do it with a variance and put the variance in green. So looking down the road, for some of these not applicable, when we get to the part of the process where you are going to discuss the gaps between the Pinewood standards and the state and national standards, which is actually something we'll be doing this year. So you can either wait for later to do this, or you can kind of do it all at the same time. So right now you can just leave it at NA if you don't do it. If it's something you don't want to do and you can, and that's just not going to fit your program, then just leave it as is. But if you look at something and look at the gap and say, this is actually a good idea, I would like to incorporate that into my curriculum, I would say this is what you should do. And this will show that it's a gap, but it's something that you want to change so that you're doing it. So let's say I'm the art teacher and I do want my kindergartners to engage and explore with Imagine to Play with materials. I will copy that. I will come over here and paste it, but I will put all of it in green. So that tells me that, okay, this is a standard. I want to do that standard. I'm not doing it now, but it's my goal to do it in the future. So that's how you can show there is a gap and that's something you want to change. Again, if you don't want to change it, just leave it as NA.